Hey my friends, this is Wolfgang from Wolfgang's Healing Circle with Tools for Ascension, and today we will be removing blocks for light workers and spiritual healers. I've performed about 1,000 past life regression with other people in my life, and of course most of those people were light workers because past life regression is still kind of a novelty and nothing for conservative people. And I've seen so many regressions where the light workers were tortured by the Inquisition in the name of the love of Jesus Christ, and actually there were demons overshadowing those judges and overshadowing those torturers and implanting and affecting those people that were wide open from the torture. Torture is one of the easiest way into the subconscious of a person and does very, very deep programming. And so many of those light workers, myself included, were so angry for having their loved ones tortured and killed, for having their property taken away, and for being tortured and killed themselves, that they cursed those perpetrators and did not ascend into heaven, just stood back in the earthbound planes and were looking for revenge and following those people around from lifetime to lifetime, or also following their parallel selves around to try to use them for their revenge, affect them in a way telepathically, and trying to hurt those people that hurt themselves. And so this is a big obstacle for any light worker, and a very important thing to deal with. One of the, of course, fastest or best ways to do this is through past life regression, but we can't do that many past life regression. This is kind of a self-help thing, and of course if you cannot perform these kind of clearings by yourself, I will be available for you to help you remove those blockages. But basically, we will be using a pendulum. This is just a necklace with a moonstone pendulum. It can be anything. It could be a key on a string, and I'm having a pendulum chart here from 0 to 100%. You can draw yourself one very simple one, or you can go to my website. There will be a link at the bottom of the video to my website, where you can download a variety of charts, and where there are also links to the videos on how to use a pendulum, and also there is another video on how to ascend angry ghosts to heaven. Just to ascend angry ghosts to heaven is such a difficult and unpleasant thing that I made a separate video on this, so I will not deal with this in this video. You just have to go through the austerity and follow the other videos. But let's get started. Other obstacles is besides the Inquisition, in generally, draconians, demons, in Christian terms, devils, in Hindu terms, rakshasas, have, as I've seen in many past life regression, attacked light workers. It's kind of an assassination. They can see into the future, and of course they can see the light, and so they did things, to not only shut them down in those lifetimes, but also to affect future lifetimes. These kind of codings or connections that they're forming go from incarnation to incarnation. Also, healers have been, persecuted by ignorant villagers, that thought, the herbalist or hands-on healer, was working with the devil, and they just got ostracized or killed. And, there have been like probably 1,000 years or more of persecution of light workers. And so chances are very, very high that it has happened to you in the past, and so it is quite important, if you want to get into your full power as a spiritual healer, that you release those traumas. And of course it is, in general, anyhow important to release those traumas, but because, the more of this stuff you're still carrying around with you in your subconscious, the less, happiness you will experience. These things, affect you, and I mean the Christians call it the sins of your fathers. The sins that you're born into, the karma, and of course the Hindus call it samskaras, and the Tibetan Buddhists, they're very aware of this, dealing with this. That is kind of what I know for sure. But I think also Native Americans, are aware about the influence of the past onto the present. Let's get started. I like to ask for the presence of Archangel Michael to do protection. And generally when I invoke any divine beings, it takes about 2 seconds. And then they're here, and for instance now my hairs are standing on end. I cannot do that willfully. And also I feel like a love surrounding me, and I seem to be tingling. My energy level goes up. So that's a good sign that those beings are there. I'm not working on blind faith, I'm working from experience. So I also ask for Mother Mary to be here there. She provides a wonderful loving motherly energy, and of course Jesus, he's the head of forgiveness. And our high selves, that's the part of us that's all knowing, that's in the eternal realm, and it's kind of our soul. And then there is this inner child, which is the representation of our subconscious. And Mother Earth, she is our physical mother, and she should always be included. She knows us through all our incarnations, and she loves us unconditionally, and she keeps us grounded so we don't space out. And of course, our guardian angels and spirit guides, they're always with us. So I asked you all to guide us and protect us for the highest good in divine harmony with the most benevolent outcomes. Amen. And first of all, let's just ask, am I supposed to, in this lifetime, to be a light worker? And see how many % we're getting. And how many are we supposed to be a spiritual healer? And see how many % you're getting. And in case you don't get a reading, a good reading, a high reading, ask what else you should be, and just use your intuition for ideas. Not everybody is supposed to be a light worker or healer. They we can serve God or humankind, in many other ways. So, just try to find out, what else you're supposed to be doing in this lifetime. There's supposed to be, you could be a teacher. I'm not supposed to be a teacher. Yeah, so teacher is for me, the highest. I do light work, I do healings, but teacher. Even my name, means Wolfgang by the Native Americans, Wolf. The wolf is the teacher. And, but it could also be through prayer, you can just ask, how much is prayer work, using your intent, important in service to mankind. Okay? And now just we ask a general question, how many blockage, do I have due to trapped emotions like anger and revenge, that prevent you to be the best light worker? And is there still a lot of anger and revenge in me that is preventing me from being a perfect light worker? And let's see how much that is, and try to remember this. And now we will be using our intent, which is like a prayer. Part of you is we are part of God, and of course, we're not everything. We're not the whole God. We're just a tiny, tiny part of God. Everybody that knows a little bit about creation knows how small we are and how large everything is. And so it would be ridiculous to think, that we are the God. No. God is so huge, you have no idea. But we are a part of Him, and so there is power in that, especially when we align ourselves with God, with God's will. And so I just ask, any stuck emotions, any stuck anger that prevents me from being a perfect, light worker in this lifetime, please find all, remove all, clear all, and continue to finish. And breathe into your crown chakra, extend, above the head as high as you can go. That will give you more power to your intent, because you will be operating from a higher consciousness. And smile so that, you're more receptible to the love of the angels and your guides. And for releasing, my pendulum always swings counterclockwise, and of course the larger the circle, the more powerful, the more stuff is going on. And any resistances towards releasing this anger and any stuck emotions that prevent me from being a light worker, please find or remove one, clear all, and continue to finish. And now it's just going up and down for me. So that means that most of us, that I can access right now has been erased. It doesn't mean, that, you change your whole life in one swing. Generally, you are just taking off one layer at a time, like an onion. It would be too much change and too hasty for your personality if you have instant purification of all your karmas. So these processes are good to do again and again, but if you're sensitive, you probably feel a tingling, or feeling lighter, that maybe a smile comes to your face, or energy is moving around your heart, etc. Alright, let's go to the next thing. And how many disconnect past life ghosts are there still from parallel selves that have not gone to heaven? First of all, are there any? Are there any light workers, from my past that have not gone to heaven? And I still have some here, and you probably have some too. And others very angry. Yes, there are. So, to deal with that, I advise you again to go to the video How to Ascend Angry Ghosts to Heaven. And so just note, and let's just move on. How many of my parallel self that have not gone to heaven are trapped by black magic? And if you get a yes, or if you get anything, are there any ones that get trapped by black magic? And let's assume you have some. We just asked, dear Archangel Michael, please free any of my parallel selves that are trapped by black magic in some kind of a way. This is an infringement on free will, and so please, remove those shackles and send them to heaven now. Amen. And you just watch your pendulum, and also any resistances towards releasing those people, please find or remove or clear all and continue to finish. Amen. And you don't have to repeat everything I say. Just when I say amen, just say amen for yourself, or ho, or yes, as a sign that you agree with this. The angels cannot just interfere with your life. They need your permission, and basically saying amen or yes or ho gives them permission to work on your behalf. And any time that a disconnect is going into heaven, personally I feel them kind of behind me, and the energy goes higher and higher, and it goes over the crown chakra, and when they make it through the heaven's gate, and this is a simplification right now when I say heaven, there's this wonderful energy coming back down, or I feel like a release. But you can always use the pendulum to see if they made it through or not. And how many of my parallel self are staying back to guilt? Or are there any staying back due to guilt? They might have thought that they screwed up, or taken responsibility that wasn't theirs to take. There's so many scenarios where we're guilt-ridden, where we feel responsible for the life of our family, and or for the life of the village, or our customers, those that we help. And of course, we're not the controllers. So we asked them for ascension team for those, and please, ascension teams, please show those guilt-ridden parallel selves of mine about the nature of forgiveness, about the nature of learning through trial and error, and that guilt is actually an illusion. God just wants us to do the right thing. It's understood that we don't know what the future will bring, so that we will make mistakes. Just move on and do the right thing next time. And especially ask for Jesus to appear to those beings and show them and teach them about forgiveness. And now we asked their loved ones to come down from heaven and take them by the hand and embrace them and lead them into heaven. Amen. And just wait till they're in heaven. And if this takes some time, just pause the video and just stay with us. Talk to those beings, encourage them, talk to them about forgiveness and how much they're loved by God, until somehow through the pendulum or through your own feelings or seeing them, many people are clairvoyant, that you're sure they're in heaven. Let's just go on. And how many of my parallel selves did not ascend to guilt from abuse of power? Are there any that are guilty of abuse of power, and so they kind of feel shy going into heaven? And so, as I said, we asked for ascension teams for those beings, and please explain to those ghosts again about the nature of trial and error, everybody sometimes, makes mistakes, and show them also, how they can actually help those beings, from the heavenly plane much better than from the ghostly plane, and that they are loved and will be accepted. And we ask their loved ones to please bring them to heaven now. Amen. And any resistances, dear ascension teams, please find all, remove one, clear all, and continue to finish. Amen. Okay, yeah, I'm tingling all over. It's very difficult as a light worker, to clear everything. Some of us had hundreds and thousands of incarnations, and a lot of karma has accumulated, and now it's a good time, to release all that. We have a lot of help from heaven, and for the ascension scenario, so take advantage of it. Alright, and now there is something which is called enemy ghosts. These are people that we wronged in past lives or in this life, and they did not ascend, either because, they want to hurt us. They're really, really angry. And let's just find out, are there any enemy ghosts that are preventing us, that are trying to prevent us from being a light worker or fulfilling our life's path? And just notice, are there any? And if there are, just write that down and, go to that video on how to ascend angry ghosts to heaven. We're not going to be dealing with this here. And, yeah. Now, are there any old vows that we have taken in past lives, or maybe in this lifetime, that prevents us from being a fully capable light worker? As we talked before, many times we have been persecuted from the village or from the church, for doing our work, for helping people, and we have vowed, or we made mistakes, and people died, and so we vowed, I'm never gonna do that one again, so, and those vows, they stay for a long time because they're done with strong emotions. So are there any vows that I did in the past not to be a light worker or healer again? And yeah, I have those. And let's just dear spirit guides, dear Mother Mary, dear Jesus, please find those vows, find or remove or clear and continue to finish. I definitely want to fulfill my life's purpose here. And any resistances towards releasing those vows, also please find or remove or clear or continue to finish. Oh yeah, I feel a lot of clearing around my heart area, and probably many of you feel tingling or all kinds of energy movement. And every time you have energy movement, that means there's something happening, and it's a good thing you're working on it. So again, please find or remove or clear and continue to finish. And any resistances, please find or remove or clear and continue to finish. Alright, so this clears here with me, and let's just move on to the next issue. Are there any old curses that prevents us from being a light worker? There have been, maybe we try to help somebody and it didn't work, and the person died, and their relatives got so angry they cursed us. Or just curses out of envy. There's so many ways, the reasons why people curse others, and curses, also work through the time lines. And so, are there any curses that are interfering Yeah, I'm having like a 50% here with me, so everybody may get a difference. So there is stuff like that. So Archangel Michael, those curses, they are infringement on free will, and so we don't need that crap anymore. So please find or remove on clear and continue to finish. And any resistances towards releasing those curses for the highest good and divine harmony with the most benevolent outcomes, please find or remove on clear and continue to finish. Amen. And you make sure you're nicely grounded and keep your crown chakra open, but reside in your heart. And so this has neutralized now. And are there any other blocks that prevent us from receiving guidance, to help our clients? Are there any other blocks? Maybe belief system, something we haven't considered yet. Do I have any blocks that prevent me? Yeah, I have some stuff there too. And so, hey, I would love to be a wonderful 100% block-free light worker. So please find or remove or clear any blocks from the highest good and divine harmony with the most benevolent outcomes. And any resistances towards removing those blocks, please find or remove or clear and continue to finish. And then blow up my crown chakra. And generally when I blow up my crown chakra, this goes a lot faster. And is there anything, blocking clients, to come to me? This could be also part of curses or other things. Who knows? And so if dear spirit, if there's anything that's blocking clients from coming to me, please find or remove on clear and continue to finish. And any resistances towards releasing those blocks, please find or remove on clear and continue to finish. Amen. Alright, but we will be getting into more details on this. And a very nice question, would we benefit, from a mentor, in our healing work? And, oh yeah, who cannot benefit from a mentor? We are not know-it-alls. So mentors, are beings that are in the physical or not in the physical, and that are qualified, very, very qualified in what they're doing. And just like we enjoy helping other people, they enjoy helping other people. And so all right, so if you get if you could benefit from a mentor, we just ask maybe Jesus or whoever you trust, your high self, to please send me all the mentors that are good for me, that can help me to fulfill my mission in this lifetime. And please remove any resistances, that are there in me or in my karma or somewhere, that prevent me from having full communication and understanding, with my mentors. Please find or remove and clear and continue to finish. And, I invite you, dear mentors, to please help me and communicate with me. Amen. And you may actually feel some presence there, just some love or some smiley energy around you. Then they're there. And the more telepathic or the more sensitive you are, the better the communication will be. I know we're rushing through a lot of things, but as a light worker, you're supposed to and understand those kind of things, and whatever you can do will help. We don't expect you to do everything 100% here, but whatever little bit, even if it's 10 or 20%, it will help. And you do it again and again, and it will get better and better and better. So are there any well, let's just go more into details. Are there any mentors in healing that would be good for me? And just notice, are there any mentors in networking that would be good for me. Are there any mentors that would help me, making money, making a living? I'm not into blackmailing people, but of course, we have to make a living just like everybody else. We have to pay our bills. And so sometimes we are very shy, or we're not good at business. So, we might need mentors for that. So we just invite those. And let's just deal more, with money. Do I have any beliefs that money is evil, or negative, or not good for me? And you probably get a certain percentage. And well, actually, money is just a tool. We can do a lot of good with money. Giving it to the right people, and helping, doing the right thing. And so money is not something to be renounced. Money is something to be used properly. So any resistance that I'm carrying, in me from this lifetime or past lifetime towards receiving money and using it properly for the highest good and divine harmony, please find or remove or clear all and continue to finish. Amen. And any resistances towards releasing those resistances, please find or remove or clear all and continue to finish. Amen. And another thing that prevents us from having enough money in this lifetime is vows of poverty. We have been nuns or monks or renunciants, or yogis, and in different traditions, they all have this idea of poverty and renunciation. And so, those vows, they might have been good at those times, and you can definitely learn a lot, by giving up attachment to material goods. But now in this lifetime, this might not be appropriate. So, any vows, of poverty from this lifetime or past lifetimes, and that are not serving me anymore, please find or remove or clear all and continue to finish. And any resistances towards releasing those, please find or remove or clear and continue to finish. Amen. 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 And any fear I have around money, a lot of people have fear, about money, especially when they run out of money in past lives, and so that is not good either. So, any fear around money that I'm having from this or past lives, please find or remove or clear out and continue to finish. And any resistances towards releasing those fears, please find or remove or clear out and continue to finish. So this is a big one, big one, big one. Please find or remove or clear out and continue to finish. We don't need fear about money. Anything you have fear about, gets blocked in your life. So you want to, because fear is the opposite of love. And so, yeah. Whew. That's a good one. Oh, yeah. That feels a lot better. Always good idea to release fear. Then, of course, there is this idea that money is corrupting us, and this happens probably to us in past lives too, or in this lifetime. That to fear of losing the money that we had, or trying to get the money that we wanted, it corrupted our character. We became callous, our heart closed, and that is the reason why many businessmen die from heart attacks. They cannot operate from their heart anymore, and that's a dangerous thing. So any idea, of rejecting money because it has corrupted us in this past lives, please find or remove or clear all and continue to finish. And any resistances towards releasing those ideas, please find or remove or clear or continue to finish. Or stuck emotions like guilt, anything misuse of money, we want to release so that we can do it right this time. And of course we ask, for divine guidance how to use money in the perfect way in this lifetime. Amen. 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 Okay, and then as a light worker, of course, we have to deal with a lot of people. And we might be very skilled as a healer, but we are kind of shy, and we're not a people person, we're not a hustler, and we don't know how to network. So first of all, to be a proper light worker, do I have to advertise more? If 100% means, oh yes, and like say 30%, yeah, you could, So let's see. So we should advertise, and how much. And you can ask, should I advertise, through ads in papers? Should I advertise through like Facebook? And should I advertise through LinkedIn? Should I advertise through putting up flyers like in New Age stores or in health food stores? Ooh, the flyers, that's just, it's a lot cheaper. And, you can just print it out yourself on your computer. So, yeah, so I asked, for mentors to please help me put on together perfect flyers. Amen. And, self-promotion. So how we're doing on self-promotion. 100% is the best we can do. How are we doing right now on self-promotion? As we said, flyers, etc. Alright, so flyers the best for me, ads the best for me. So all together, yeah, so, for me it's a shotgun approach that's suggested. Then how much, maybe, we are a recluse, and how much should I mix more? 100% is I'm mixing perfectly, and let's see, how am I mixing with people? Not so good. And let's see, should I just go more to all kinds of meetings? How would that be? To meditation groups, yoga groups, etc. And who, that's being liked. So, maybe get out more. Maybe in past lives we, got abused when we were not fitting in with people. So how much trauma am I still carrying around from this kind of negative experience with people? Okay. And whatever trauma I have still that affecting me, please find or remove and clear all, and continue to finish. And any resistances towards releasing those traumatized, please find or remove and clear all, and continue to finish. And keep your crown chakra nice and open. Okay. And sometimes, we had like ridicule, as a child, and that, affects us big time. So how much, does my inner child not want to mix because, he didn't fit in, and oh boy, I'm having a biggie here. And so that means if you get 100%, you definitely, your child carries a lot of fear from socializing. And so, okay, I asked my inner child, please find or remove or clear all any fear about socializing. Whatever you have there from this and past life, just give it to Jesus, give it to Mother Mary, give it to the earth, wherever will take it. And any resistances towards releasing those fears, please find or remove and clear all, and continue to finish. Right. And let's just see, how much guilt, are we still carrying, for maybe screwing up in this or past lives, as a healer, or we thought, we're supposed to do this and we didn't and feel guilty. Every healer just comes to somebody, you can't help them, it's the people are blocking it, or you're not supposed to, and this and that. So is there still any guilt blocking me, from this misfortunate attempts, and oh yeah. So, so I don't need that guilt. Guilt is like a big no-no. It's, blocks love and the joy in life. So please find or remove and clear all any guilt from past lives and this lifetime not being able to help and heal people. And amen. And any resistances, towards releasing those guilt feelings, please find or remove and clear all and continue to finish. Amen. Woohoo, that's definitely a biggie one. Please find or remove and clear and continue to finish. Now I'm going to blow up my crown chakra. And there we go. The higher the consciousness, the faster our intent works. And is there any guilt that I'm carrying from taking responsibility, for the wrong thing? Nah, that's gone, so we kind of covered that before. And, there may be other reasons, why we're blocked as a light worker, and let's just see. Let's say if in the perfect way, I would be 100% qualified. Now, how qualified am I right now, as a light worker or as a healer? So, and so let's just see, how we become more qualified. And so, of all the stuff, that would make me completely qualified, what kind of percentage would it be that I need more self-healing? And this is just to give you an overview. Self-healing is a very complicated process, alright? And so we just see, it's always, doctor, cure yourself before you're trying to cure other people. And actually healing yourself is a wonderful experience, and only then you really become qualified, to help other people too. And maybe, we are too one-sided, in our methods, trying to do everything, with EFT, or with hands-on healing, or everything with past life regression, or everything with breath work. May not be such a good idea. It's like different medicines for different people, for different situations. So, how much am I too one-sided? I should be more open-minded. Okay, and note. And so basically, should I explore, different healing modalities and see. And then, of course, we can find out, what would be the different healing modalities that we, how it's about, energy work. How much we should maybe improve on that. And how much like prayer work, where we use our intent. And how much maybe like group therapy, and how much like crystal work, working with gems, and how much like with herbal work, like essences and pills and tinctures. And how much more like with physical work, like acupressure, acupuncture, massage, stretching, things like that. And so, you can just go through all the different healing modalities that you know about, and see, how much they would apply in your life. And how were you doing, let's see, in your clairvoyance, in terms of helping people. So let's say if you get a 70%, you could maybe improve 30%. And how much is about your clear audience? How are you doing there? How much is clear sentience? Means that's when you feel things. And these are generally the most important channels through which we do healing. And if I have any blocks in any of those capacities, I ask the healing angels to please remove those blocks in my chakras and my abilities, and any past life trauma that prevents me from accessing those higher senses or spiritual senses in the service of mankind. Please find all, remove all, and clear all, and continue to finish. And any resistances towards releasing the stuff for the highest good, please find all, remove all, and clear all, and continue to finish. Amen. So by no way is this kind of overview on this clearing complete. There's always something that we haven't thought about. But my guides were bugging me to get this out. Things are evolving very, very fast, and there are a lot of people that now they're supposed to be light workers, or they think they're supposed to be light workers. So this is one of those ascension tools, to get an overview, to see where your strengths are, to see where your weaknesses are, and please feel free, to improvise yourself, to follow your intuition, and to go over some of those issues later on again, especially those dark ones. They are very, very tough, and it's very, very unpleasant to deal with that. I'm available over the phone or Skype for healings and assistance. I work on a love donation basis, so please contact me through email so that we can set up a Skype appointment, and let your friends or anybody else know that you think would benefit from this type of information. And if you like this video, there's a whole lot more, so please subscribe to my channel. And as always, I love you. Love and light. Star hoppers unite. Namaste.